So when this question asks you to find the square root of 4, it's basically asking what number times itself twice gives you 4. So since we have a 2 times a 2 that would go here, the answer here would be 2. All right? If you're thinking A, that would be 4 squared, which gets you 16. But that's not the square root of 4. We're looking here for the square root of 4, okay? So over here, the square root of 16 would be 4. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Now for the next one, when it asks what is the square root of 289, answer choice A would be 289 divided by, this is it being divided by 2. So that's what some people think you're supposed to do with the square root. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to determine what number times itself twice would give you 289. So in your calculators, if you do 19 times 19, you'll see that that's 361. If you do 18 times 18, you'll see that that's 324. And if you do 17 times 17, you'll see that that's 289. So the square root of 289 would be 17. 17 is the number that you multiply by itself to get 289. All right, for this next one, a lot of you are going to think that it's answer choice D because you think that a negative times a negative is positive, but it is not answer choice D. Also, some of you are going to incorrectly multiply it by 2 and do a negative 8 times 2 and think it's A. That's incorrect. And some of you are thinking that a negative times a negative is positive, and you're thinking 8 times 2, and so you're thinking positive 16. That's also wrong. Over here, I have this problem in action, and if you saw 100 minus 8 squared, you'd do 100 minus 64, and you'd go on to get 36. So if the 100 wasn't here, right there you can see that the negative 8 squared would be the negative 64 because the negative 8 is not in parentheses. So this one would be C. All right, for this one, because it is in parentheses, now we're doing a negative 8 times a negative 8, and this negative times negative would be D, positive 64. And for the last one here, when you see a negative 8 cubed, that means to do negative 8 times negative 8 times negative 8. So this negative 8 times negative 8 is a positive 64, but then we still have times another negative 8. All right? So 64 times negative 8 is going to be D, negative 512. And that concludes your video on perfect squares and square roots.